Hello everyone, how are you? In this video we will talk about the Windows Server 2019, and we will begin with the virtual machine because uh, in the course or in the lectures we're using the virtual machine or VMware, this icon of VMware, and here also you can see we have VMware. You should install the VMware on your computer. The first thing, what's the VMware? VMware is just a software. We have a computer like this computer, call it host computer, just any computer, laptop or personal computer. Install the software virtualization like VMware or VirtualBox, no problem with that. This software or the function of this software is to divide the computer or split the computer, the host computer, into multiple computer. I have one computer, host computer, and this computer we have resource of the computer like a processor, random access memory, hard disk, and so on. This program, this software in the computer help us to divide the computer into many virtual computer. We can make a lot of virtual computer from the one computer. So here I install the VMware here, this computer. I can create multiple virtual computer. These computers, these virtual computers will share the resource of the host computer. Share the processor, share the random access memory, the hard drive, and so on. For example, here you can just suppose we have memory or random access memory or RAM 12 giga, for example. Here in the every virtual computer share just 2 giga. Here 2 giga, here 2 giga. Just divide the computer into multiple computer, and these computers share the resource of the host computer like a processor, like random access memory, and so on. And also in the every computer, in the virtual machine, every virtual computer, we can add operating system. For example, in the first computer we can install the Windows Server 2019. In the second computer, Windows 10. In the third computer, Windows 7, and so on. So in this virtual machine or in this course, we can add multiple computer. You can see here, I have virtual machine. I install the virtual machine. I open the virtual machine. Inside it, I add the first computer. I install the Windows Server 2019. And in the another computer, I create two computer here. In another computer, another virtual computer. In the second virtual computer, I add the Windows 7. Now we create a very simple virtual network. Consists from just one server, this, and one client. Now we have like a virtual network, and we can make a connection between this computer and the virtual network. So we'll implement every example, every service in this course on the virtual machine. We're just using two computer, one server, and one client. Now what's the server? When we talk about the server in the context of network or in the network, the server is just a computer in the network that provide a services to the other computers in the network. For example, we have this computer, a server. The server, by the way, the server may be a normal computer or a supercomputer or a special type of computer, contains special type of hardware, special type of software, special type of random access memory and CPU and so on. Like I can say, powerful or powerful hardware or powerful CPU, powerful random access memory, and so on, because normally the server should working 24 hour a day. So you should have a special type of software and hardware. The special type of software, the first thing we have the operating system, a special type of operating system. Instead of using the Windows 7 or Windows 10 in the normal computer, in the server using the Windows Server 2019, for example. And as I said, the server is a computer or a special type of computer that provide a service to the other computers in the network. So what's the service? The service like this here, we have like domain controller, it is a service. Like DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, also it is a service. DNS, Domain Name System, and so on. So the server that have a domain controller, call it domain controller or domain controller server. That server provide a domain controller service to the computers. Also the server with DHCP, call it DHCP server, and DNS server if the server contain DNS. That I mean the server provide a DHCP service to the computers. In the context of network, you have a server and a client. The server is the computer that provide a service to the client, a service like DNS, for example. Now in our computer here, or in our virtual machine here, just install the Windows Server and install Windows 7. After that, if you see like this, after open it or run the server and the client, if you want to run, just click here in the virtual machine. Now if you see like this here, press Ctrl plus Alt plus Delete. You should just press in the keyboard Ctrl plus Alt plus Insert, because delete for the host computer, or will implement to the host computer, to the computer. If you want to implement the or if you want to see the effect of the virtual machine, virtual computer, you should using Control Alt and Insert instead of Delete. Now the password here, and also in the lab, CSD capital, Jihan small, and 2020. The password for administrator. The first thing you should know in the virtual machine or in the Windows Server when you make a virtual network, the first thing, of course, you should install the Windows Server and install the Windows 7. After that, go to this computer that contain Windows Server. As I said before, we have now two computers, this and this. The first one have Windows Server and another one Windows 7. Now just right click on the first computer on the Windows Server and go to the setting and go to the network adapter. You can see here you should make the network connection host only, a private network shared with the host. If you want to make a private network, you should make it host only, the network connection. In the both Windows Server and Windows 7, if you want to make the Windows 7 and Windows Server in the same network, you should add it host only. Okay, and also go to the Windows 7 setting, same thing, go to the network adapter and make it host only. Now you can see automatically when we just run the Windows Server, or when we just open the Windows Server or turn on the Windows Server, automatically Server Manager will work. Automatically this special program Windows or Server Manager will start working. When Server Manager is a software, we're using it to manage the server, to do everything. The first thing, we should configure the server. Go to the configure this local server. We should just configure the IP address. Every server in the network should have IP address, static IP address. Here they install the server and we should add the IP address to the server. So you can see here, the first thing, we should add the IP address to the server, and also to the client you should add the IP address. So you should, now we will make it, go to the configure this local host, or from here local server and Ethernet, just click on the Ethernet 0, and here Ethernet 0, just right click and the properties. After that we have Internet Protocol version 4, IP4, IP version 4, and here just instead of obtain IP, just use the following IP address, and here you can add, we can add any type of the IP address. We have class A, class B, class C. Now here we will using the class C because we have just a small network. Dot here for example 4, and here for example 200. Just you should pay attention. Here we make the first three sector 192, 168 and 4. In this type of the IP address type C, or in this class of IP address class C, the first three sector or the first three part or byte of the IP address that refer to the network part. So the server and the client should be in the same network sector or in the same network class. I mean, if I make for the server like this 192 and 168 and 4, also in the client should be same thing, should be the IP address should be 192 and 168 and 4. After that the last one for host, so this will differ. Now in the client will be 20 for example or whatever. Here just click here to add the subnet mask, and here for the DNS I should add the same IP address for the server. I mean the IP address of the server. Why? Because DNS, we say DNS is a service, and we say the server is a computer or a special type of computer that provide or that responsible to provide a services to another computers, to other computers in the network. So the DNS is a service, and my server here, I have this server will play a role as a DNS server, or my server, this server, Windows Server 2019 is a DNS server. So I should add the IP address of the server because the server or this server will provide a DNS service. Dot 200. I mean the same IP for the server, and OK, and OK. Also here you should work with the time. You should change the time in the server just from here, and you should know that. Change the date and time, and you can change the time for the server. And then go to the client. In the client also you should change the IP address and the time. You can see now I add the IP address for the server, and I want to add the IP address also for the client. From here or from control panel, open and change adapter setting and local area connection. Right click, properties, just double click on the IP version 4, and here also just use the IP address and add IP address. But now here too, and in the server you can see it is 4. So the network class or the class of network, the sectors, the first three should be same. So I should changing to the 4 here. And for the host, anything, for example 20. Here also the DNS should be same as DNS for the server, 4, and here 200 like a server IP address. Why? Because DNS server, which DNS server, which one is DNS server, which server or which computer will provide the DNS service to this client? Of course this server. I just have one server. In the normal or in the real network, in the big network, especially in the big network, every service there's a dedicated server to every service. I mean DNS service, we can dedicate one server just to provide a DNS service. Like this here, we can make one server, and the server responsible for provide a lot of service like this. Or every server, we can create many server in the network, every server or more than one server just to provide one service, like one for DHCP and another for proxy, for example. Now we add the IP address and DNS for the server or for the client. Now OK and OK. Now we add the IP address for the client as server, and we make the Windows 7 or a client and the server in the same network by using the host only. Now we will check there's a connection or not between the server and the client. Just go to the from client from the Windows 7, just go to the CMD command line and ping, and you should make a ping or send a package or send a request to the server IP 4.200. If you see the reply, now I see a reply from the server. That means there is a connection between client and server. You can see reply from the server IP address. Now everything is good. In the next lecture, we will talk about domain controller and Active Directory, how we install the first service in the server, and very important service called domain controller and domain system. Thank you very much.